We're confident that we've got an estimate that we can deliver the first phase of the railway for.
Your contractors are coming back and they're saying, I can't build what you want me to build for the prices that you've suggested. It's going to cost more than that. Now, that sounds to me as if HS2 is over budget.
No, we're not over budget.
Has HS2 been honest with Parliament and the public about the real costs of this project?
On the evidence I have now, I don't believe it has been totally open and frank with Parliament.
I'm absolutely certain of it. In subsequent iterations of the estimate for phase one, we have given ministers and MPs full disclosure of all of what the scope of phase and the cost of phase.
Do you think that HS2 will be delivered within the budget? Is it going to be within the budget and on time?
Yes, I believe that Sir Terry responded to a very similar question. We are committed to ensuring that we can continue to drive down costs with HS2 Ltd, and the budget will be delivered within the envelope that has been provided at £55.7 billion.
Comrades poll says 2/3 of British adults do not think HS2 would benefit them personally. 3 in 5 British adults think HS2 is poor value for money. 4 in 5 British adults think HS2 will end up costing more than the projected £56 billion.
It's a large sum of money. I mean, £55.7 billion is a huge amount of money. But the benefits, the cost benefits are really clear for everybody to see. I mean, for every pound we invest, we get a return of 2.3.
So at the moment, you're working to the assumption that we'll be able to, that the project will be delivered at the speed that's set out, on the network that's set out, to the time frame set out.
I'm working to the assumption exactly as you said.
Why hasn't the cost of HS2 been updated since 2015? And what are the actual costs at today's prices? No one knows. What is the latest evaluation of the cost-benefit analysis? And why hasn't that been done already?
Earlier, there's only one budget for HS2, and we will ensure that we can stick to that budget, which is why it's so important to get the business case together, not only to ensure that the costs are covered, but we also assess the positive that will bring to our economy as well. And as HS2 has one budget, it's £55.7 billion, and constant speculation around the budget just undermines the confidence in this project.
Review. Is there a possibility of further delay to HS2?
I don't think that the delivery of the project is dependent upon the spending review. The question is, when is it sensible, as it were, to put into the public domain revised business cases, etc. It's more sensible to do so, obviously, when you've gone through those significant moments of sort of public spending and everything else.
So given that you and your department or your ministers have pledged there's no more money
yes.
for HS2, they've got to work within the current envelope. Obviously delays can increase costs. So does the no more money diktats remain, even if delays are as a result of
so
government decisions being delayed?
Well, the government's been very clear that 55.7 billion is the allocated budget for this funding, and that remains the case until and unless any other decision is taken, which it hasn't been. So that's absolutely a key parameter, and I don't see that changing. Any way other than in a spending review, and quite probably not then. Okay. So I think that's sort of
fine. So the money stays. That's the answer to the question. That's fine.
Yes.
That's the
yeah. I'm not expecting that to change.
I just think we need
to be confident still that this is a project with a solid BCR. It has a BCR of 2.3 on current parameters. That's a pretty solid BCR.
There is clear concern over the cost of the HS2 programme, as has been discussed in this committee and elsewhere. Clause 61 of the bill shows that there's little accountability for these spiralling costs, and in the light of that, we are seeing continual rises in the cost of the project.
He asserted that the costs keep rising. Well, that simply isn't the case. The total funded envelope for HS2 remains at 55.7 billion in 2015 prices, and the department is keeping a firm grip on costs, and HS2 Ltd is working with its supply chain to ensure this continues. I must say that if you want to ensure and to help keeping costs low, undermining the project and then further undermine the supply chain is not a way to go about doing it.
But with the delay to the notice to proceed, with growing concerns over the project's spiralling costs,
I was asked by the member for South Northamptonshire if I could confirm at the dispatch box what the budget was and what the timetable is, and I can confidently stand here today and say the budget is 55.7 billion and the timetable is 2026.
But what we have not had is an honest assessment of the cost of this project. We were told originally it was in the 30 billion, 35 billion range, and then a minister came forward a few years ago and said actually that was going to be about 56 billion. But since then, nothing. They have stuck to this, and what we are being asked as a House today is to vote on a figure which I simply do not believe.
There is only one budget for HS2, and it is £55.7 billion, and the bit that we're talking about today, phase 2A, is £3.5 billion, and the benefit cost ratio is £2.30 for every £1 spent.